Enjoy that game, Man United?
Well, the last sort of period, it just petered out a little bit, didn't it? A big chance at the end for United, ironically. But Spurs definitely the dominant force and nice rhythm to their play, nice procedures, good at set plays. Should have won, really.
72% possession in the second half at one stage. We're looking at the stat. What does that say? I think that result there, you're looking at Spurs because we was without Maddison, Son, Kulusevski, Sarr and Basuma. All 5 of those are starting 11 players. Does that say about how far Spurs have come or how far off Manchester United are? Or is it a bit of both?
Well, I think you've only got to look at Man United's record this year to know that they're not a top team. They've lost too many games and they're starting to show. The confidence levels are not high. There's no real... There didn't seem to be much structure to what they were doing today. It looked a little bit kind of disjointed performance. You got the new owner sitting in the stand next to Sir Alex. It's all pressure building for the manager there. And he's going to do very, very well to see this season out if they don't really pick up. And when you look at the playing squad, I don't think they are going to pick up, if I'm honest. And I look at Spurs and you say, though, 5 or 6 big names missing. Yeah. They now sit 5th, Tottenham, 40 points, the same as Arsenal. 43 is Villa, it's Man City, and Liverpool on 45. So it's very, very tight. And if Spurs can get those guys back, your big centre-half come back today, what a difference he made. Yeah, it goes to show you that, Spurs are not out of the equation yet. Well,
I think that sort of top 5 is really starting to push on from the likes of, especially with the result with Newcastle yesterday. I think we are starting to see a top 5 really form here between Liverpool, City, Villa, Arsenal and Tottenham. But it could have been 3 points today and all of a sudden Spurs would have been above Arsenal in the league. So was it a chance missed for Tottenham perhaps today? Because that Manchester United team were very, able to get out, weren't they?
Yeah, but I still think going to United is still a good result. As poor as they've been this year at times, what have they lost? 9 games, but they don't lose many at Old Trafford. No. And they are a force with that enormous crowd that they got there that sort of sucks the ball towards the goal. But I think Spurs did a good job today. And I haven't seen Ange's interview yet, but I bet your life he's very, very pleased with the performance. And I think he'd take the draw all day.
He might say the word mate a few times.
He might say that,
speaking of our mates, let's head over to the phone lines on 03717 223344. Chris, Manchester United fan, who's at the game. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, how are you? You okay?
Yes, not bad at all. The spoils shared there at Old Trafford at the end of the game. Do you think Spurs were unlucky?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I think it's another lacklustre performance by Man United, and given the fact you look at the Spurs team and the people who they've got missing, they put out their first 11 against us to come away with 3 points. United go 1-0 up after a couple of minutes, right? That's a time when you've really got to capitalise on a game and go after them, and we didn't. And unforgivable. You start the second half, 2-1 up. You think, right, okay, let's start getting possession and control it. Again, couple of minutes, bang, with ball watching, goes 2-2. So, I think United today, being honest, I think we were lucky to come away with a draw. I really do. Spurs control the game.
I mean, I don't know how you sit there when you're watching them week in, week out. What is your view of Man United? I'm guessing you've been a supporter for many, many years. Where do you put this team? Where do you actually, from an outsider's point of view, it looks really like, come on, it can't be that poor.
Look, I've supported United for the past 40-odd years, right? I'm 44 years of age. I go week in, week out and what have you. This is the worst United team I've seen since, for many, many years. I'll go back to pre-Ferguson when I was a kid on the terraces, right? And I think fundamentally is that, we need to do something different because, the definition of madness is doing the same thing and getting the same results. And there's no imagination on the pitch. And most importantly of all, you have a look how Ange Postecoglou set up today. There was a play pattern. Every time you watch Ten Hag's team, there is no pattern. You don't know what you're going to get. There is no style of play. And that's where the disorganisation starts within the team. And like I started with my opening gambit, it's a lacklustre performance. There's no leadership there. It's as simple as that.
Chris, you was at the game, obviously. So what was the atmosphere like? Because just watching it on TV, it didn't feel like, the cauldron that is normally Old Trafford.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't at all, There's certain period of the games, obviously, when you go on the attack, it spikes the crowd. But apart from that, it was relatively quiet, and that's been a common theme most of the season at Old Trafford, and it's frustrating, right? I mean, it's a cold Sunday night. You want to go there, you want to watch a game of exciting football being played at Old Trafford, let's face it, historically, what you've already seen, and yet, there's nothing there to excite you or lift you. And most importantly of all is to the fact that there's nothing there that the crowd's tried to cajole the team, and they don't respond to it. So it's either a lack of listening or care or trust. I just don't know. But there's too many people at Man United, what I see in the starting 11, what I would class as not Man United players.
I'd agree with that. Thank you. Great call there from Chris, Manchester United fan. I think there's a few words that he used there that you was even talking about when we was watching the game. Lack of imagination, no real set play. You said after 10 minutes, you can clearly see one team has a play pattern and one doesn't.
Yeah, there's like a simple procedure that Spurs were doing where they're passing the ball around the back and they're kind of inviting the wide player to come and press the centre-back. And as soon as that wide player, Rashford, for example, would go and close the centre-back down, which is part of his job, they just bounce it around to the fullback and then they're out. And then they're coming through the midfield. When they get into the midfield areas, they know their options and where the number 10 should be, etc., etc. And when you look at United today, I was like, when are they going to get Eriksen on the ball? Where's the formula to kind of get him some space, get him creating passes? I mean, all he did all day was just track and run, and he can't do that. It's
not his game.
It's just not anything that he can do that is strong in his game. So I didn't see. That's what would really worry me. And I think when you look at Man United fans, the one thing about Man United fans, a lot of they never kind of crumble, do they? They've always been there. They've always supported their team. They've seen so many great teams. You wouldn't say they've been spoiled because they've actually earned it. But this team, and I sense this from Man United fans, they don't feel like they're earning their luck or they're earning their worth. And I think that is a real damnation of where Man United are right now.
As I said before, no Son, no Maddison, no Kulusevski, no Basuma, no Sarr, no Lo Celso. And Spurs still managed to go to Old Trafford and absolutely boss them. Yeah,
and that last 10 minutes, Madge, I was saying to you, that's where, like, as a manager, I've been there, so I don't know how many times I've been there, right? 5, 6, 10 times, whatever it's been. That last 10 minutes, you're in absolute fear if you're level. Because you know they're coming for you. They're going to put you under pressure. As you clear the ball, they're winning the second ball. As Spurs were clearing the ball today, they were winning that out ball. Richarlison was getting there before the centre-backs. That would never happen normally.
No.
And so that's the sort of thing. There was no building of pressure. They had one isolated chance when McTominay, which should have been so fortunate for United to have got all 3 points, but he should have scored. And that was the only chance they created in that last 10-minute period.
Absolutely. Spurs fans, we'd love to hear from you as well. How impressed were you? Or do you think it was a bit of an opportunity wasted, considering that Manchester United were there for the taking? 03717 22 3344. Let's head over to the phone lines. Adam was at the game. He joins us. Good evening, Adam. Hello, Adam, can you hear us?
Is he there?
Oh, hello, Jason.
Hi, Adam.
Hello, Alan. Hello, Majestic. How are you lot? You all right?
Yeah, listen, for me as a Spurs fan, it's never nice going to Old Trafford. But it's an Old Trafford that I don't really recognise at the moment, Adam, because I don't think I was really fearing Manchester United at all during the game, even when you went 1-0 up.
You want to know something hilarious, Majestic and Alan? This morning when I was getting ready to leave, my partner looked at me and she said to me, "Really, Adam, you're gonna hit the road again and waste the whole day?" And she hit me with this stat, yeah. I was actually burning by it, that I was so desperate for us to win. She said, every game you've gone through this season, you've not seen your team win.
Oh.
Imagine that. Imagine I do like almost 10-hour round trips. I've done it 5 times this season and I've not seen us win once. You know how burning that is?
Well, that's hard. And is that a 10-hour round trip? So 5 hours there, 5 hours back, I take it.
Yeah, 10 hours. I'm just hit the M62. I'm going to hit the M6 all the way back down towards. I live in Essex, so
okay.
I do like a 5-hour trip. So for today, I had to leave my house at just gone 10:30 in the morning.
I mean, Man United is such a big club. You can imagine people have flown in from all over the world today to watch that game.
You know what it is? It's just the atmosphere. Like it felt so flat. Like
it looked like that on the TV actually.
Yeah, it was such a flat atmosphere, and you know what? Conceding that goal so early into the second half, that was just
killed the game off, didn't it?
Oh, that just killed the game off. I wanted to ask Alan, as an ex-Premier League manager, where do you think we're going wrong? Is it the signings? Is it maybe the football that Ten Hag's trying to implement and we don't have the players for it? I don't like blaming injuries because every club has injuries.
Sure.
I
think the biggest problem is the recruitment side of it. You know, you haven't really got players there that I would consider top Man United players when you compare to the greats of the past. So that's one issue. One of the big problems I think Ten Hag has is actually getting a structure with the players that he has. I don't know if he feels like he hasn't got the right personnel to play the way he wants, but at the minute it looks a bit of a mismatch to me in terms of what he's trying to do.
But he's had the opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not going to defend him.
He's the one that wanted Anthony. He's the one that wanted Mason Mount. You know, he's the one that wanted all these players. So surely, when you're signing players, you need to at some point be like, will he fit into the type of football I'm trying to play?
Well, let me tell you, as an ex-Premier League manager, you are defined by your signings. At the end of the day, you know, they say, oh, it's a results-based business, which of course it is. But if your results are not there and your signings are not been coming through, i.e. they're not performing to the level that you was expecting or you promised when you brought them in, then you are in big trouble. And I do think he is in that position. He's got the new owner sitting there today next to Alex Ferguson. He's got all sorts of media pressure that's coming down on him. And at the moment, it all looks a bit too much.
It does indeed. Manchester United and the Spurs fans, get your calls into us right now on 03717 223344 as we want to hear your views on today's game where Old Trafford was quieter than an Arsenal coffee shop. Call us right now and we'll speak to you next on The Final Word here on talkSPORT.